A girl enters her mother's room very excited, and at that moment she realizes that her mother had a fake belly. The woman said that her belly was a big nuisance to her, but that it served a purpose and that it was making her very happy. She then pulls out some money bills and starts counting the money. She gets really excited about all that money and then starts thanking her that her husband made her feel that way. This makes the girl very sad about what her mother was doing, and then a woman says that that money was just the beginning, as she knew that she would still earn much more from that fake pregnancy. The girl seemed to be really very sad about what her mother was doing, and at that moment the man comes home. He calls for his wife and daughter and begins to search for them. He then proceeds to go after his daughter and his wife, and the girl realizes that her father has come home. She then decides to go into hiding, and the woman continues to be very happy with all that money. She said she was going to get a lot more money, and in the meantime, the man was looking for her. He would continue to search for his wife and ask where the most important person in his life was, and then the woman realizes that her husband has come home. She despairs of this situation and hides her fake belly, and at that moment the man enters the room. He hands her some flowers and asks if something had happened. She says that nothing had happened there, that she was just feeling different because of the pregnancy. He gets worried about it, and then she says that nothing wrong had happened. She said she was happy to be pregnant because she knew that was her husband's biggest dream, for her to have a child with him. He says that this was really his biggest dream, and he was very grateful to her for making it come true. He then asks if he could touch his wife's belly, but she says no, as she was too sensitive at that time. He says he didn't know about it and apologizes. She said it was okay, and then the man said he wanted to hear his son fidgeting in her belly and puts his ear over his wife's belly. At that moment, the girl ends up making a noise under the bed, and the man is frightened by it. He then says that the noise had come from under the bed, and when he went to look, the woman stops him. The woman tells him not to worry about it, as she was feeling a desire to eat something different. He gets excited about it and says that she could order whatever she wants, and the woman says that she wanted to eat some sweet cookies with ketchup, which makes the man very surprised by the request. She says she was really craving it and asks her husband to buy it so she can satisfy that craving. At first, he doesn't quite understand what was going on, but soon says he was going to buy it for his wife. Meanwhile, the girl was putting a note on her father's foot, saying that his wife was cheating on him, but he doesn't notice and leaves. When he leaves, the woman starts looking for what made that noise, but she can't find it. The man was taking out the trash, when he ends up finding his daughter inside the trash can and is surprised by it and asks what she was doing. The girl said she needed to talk to her father about her mother, and the man asked what had happened. She said her mother had done something wrong, and the man asks what it was. The girl tries to tell her father what had happened, but at that moment the man tells her to wait a while, as he had received a call. He asks what had happened, and the woman tells him that she was feeling a lot of pain in her belly. This makes him very worried, and he asks where his wife was and says he was already going. She can't tell him to see it, she just said she was in a lot of pain. The man told her to calm down and said he was on his way. When he hangs up on the woman, and her friend starts laughing at the situation. He was then going to her, but the girl asks him to wait. The man said he couldn't wait, for his son was about to be born, and he went away happily. He was going to his wife, very excited about what another man is, and kidnaps him. The man asks the other man to let him go, but the other man tells him to be quiet. At this time, the other woman was walking around and then she walks up to the other man. She asks him if he had seen the man pass by. She starts to describe the man to him, but the other man said that he hadn't seen anyone who looked like that person there. She then asks if she could look inside the box that the other man was carrying, but the other man says that inside there were only a few things that he was taking to his mother. She then asks him if he needed help with that box, but he said it wasn't necessary as he was a very strong person. At that moment, the girl calls for help and the other woman runs to her. The man is frightened by the situation and says that this was his daughter asking for help. He then starts to get desperate and asks the other man to get him out of there, but the other man doesn't do that, as he was no longer there. The man manages to free himself from there and then he notices a note saying that his wife was not pregnant. He follows the arrows that were on the ground to his house, and there he finds his wife tied up. He worries about it and asks what had happened and if his wife was okay. She manages to untie herself, and then the man sees that she no longer has her belly. He gets excited about it and asks if his son was born and where he was, but the woman said he was too naive and that she would never have a child with him. He asked her what she was talking about and the woman said she was tired of the situation. At this point, the girl arrives and tells her father that she had tried to tell him that the woman was never pregnant. He then asks how his daughter found out about it, and the girl reveals that she had hidden under the bed and found out that the woman was never pregnant. She says the woman just wanted her father's money. The woman said the girl wasn't as smart as she thought, but the man told her not to talk to his daughter like that. She then said that she was tired of that situation and that she hadn't gotten much money from the man. The girl then tells the woman not to talk to her father like that, but the woman says that this was not her father. Just then, another man arrives and tells them to be quiet. The girl then asks her father what was going on there, since she didn't understand why he wasn't her father. The man tries to explain it to his daughter, but the woman says the truth was that her father had lied to her all her life. The man told the woman to stop saying those things, because she knew it wasn't true, but she said that if it wasn't true, she should explain to the girl who that person was. Girl asks who that man was and the man X that one, in fact he was her father. He says that the other man had a lot of difficulties and that he ended up taking care of the girl. He then goes up to the other man and tells him that he was glad his brother came back into their lives. The other man said he was happy to be back and that he wanted to be by his family's side again. The woman says she wasn't too moved by all that, but the man tells her not to meddle in their affairs. The man then tells the sermon that now that he has returned, they should talk about everything that had happened. The girl then asks if he was really her father and the other man says yes. They then hug and a man tells them to leave, since he didn't want to be by that woman's side anymore. When they leave, the woman says that she couldn't stand being around that man anymore because he had never given her much money and that now she was going to go after someone else,